on today's episode of The Real DJ Show.
I don't know. I think it looks a little bit like a pumpkin on a toothpick when you put a mover on a tripod like that. Or whatever analogy you want about a... What was that movie? Was that So I Married an Axe Murderer?
Yeah.
Ed! He's got a ginormous melon!
Remember when DJs used to have like the microphone thing hooked up that like you could move and it turned and they could bring the microphone?
A lot of guys still do that.
I think
Mickey, I think what you're trying to say here is, hey, John, there's a bunch of stuff here that normally you talk about.
All white. And it's all
you
white.
talk shit about it most of it. But I don't know what it is, but in this case, it does all work.
What is up? What is up? What is up?
It's a lot of what's up.
Yep, I got 3 of them. All right, cool. Sorry, teleprompter issues here in the Real DJ Show. We're getting grades. My name is Rich Cranston. Mickey's in the booth. Mikey's over there. Jordan's over there. Andre's doing That's Johnny Roach.
It's a lot of bleeps in the intro. I guess you didn't say the word that we had to change the entire episode for.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I don't know. Mikey was on vacation for that one.
And we had to, and Rich used a word that we had to like completely change the entire episode.
So, anywho, we're going to kind of change format a little bit. I'm actually going to literally not only give you the hoodie off my back, but I'm going to give up the seat in which my ass is sitting in. And we're going to bring back Adam Dibble.
Yeah, so we're going to do a one thing with Adam. It's a very special episode of The Real DJ Show. But Mickey, give us that one thing video.
Let's go. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check. No drip, this wet. Tell him run it up. No sleep, no rest.
All right, so we have a very special episode. Although, remember when you were a kid and they had Growing Pains? By the way, this is Adam Dibble with us.
What's up, guys?
Remember when you'd watch Growing Pains or
I'm old
Ties?
enough to remember.
Right.
I'm old enough to remember.
And they'd be like, there'd be a deep voice. Our narrator at the beginning, Alan Thicke, would go, this is a very special episode of Growing Pains. It'd be about drugs or like abuse or something. Well, this is a very special episode of The Real DJ Show. Occasionally, we like to do our One Thing segment where we bring in one of our brother or sister DJs from around the world to talk about what makes them unique. Today, we have one of our very own from Encore Events, Adam Dibble.
What's up?
We have Adam here because he is very unique, and not just his hairstyle. But we think he's an exceptionally interesting person, and we like doing these occasionally with our own staff. So, Adam, this is the one thing. Before I get to the one thing for Adam Dibble, give us the Reader's Digest version of like the superhero origins. Or how did you get into DJing, and how that happened for you?
Oh man, it was just like love of music growing up, and then realizing that I couldn't sing. I couldn't dance and I couldn't play music.
I'm not sure you can.
So it was kind of like when it started, that's what it was. It was just some way figuring out how I can be involved when I couldn't do any of those things because I just had so much love for music growing up.
Sure. Well, when did you first did you say you called yourself a DJ? How'd you get into it? Like what was the moment, or was it a friends thing? Was
oh my God. I started doing like, I used to lifeguard and I started doing just some like dances, like some beach dances when I was like 2000, yeah. And then doing some corporate parties for my dad and stuff like that and bars in college, and worked my way up.
It's funny you say like the lifeguard dances. For all of us, it seems like there was a platform, whether it was frat house or Rich was the hockey arena, but I think we got picked just because we had the biggest music collection. Was it the same for you? Like, you were the dude who had the most music?
It wasn't back then. It was dragging, like 10,000 CDs wherever you went.
Your big fat case logic of... Did you have Columbia House? We were just talking about it earlier.
I did.
You send a penny and then they send you 10 CDs. And then you were supposed to buy another one.
Yep.
And then you never did.
Yeah, then you had thousands of CDs that you like bought for one track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a life changer when CD burners first came out.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Yeah.
All right. So what is the one thing for you? So the segment's called The One Thing. We talk about what makes you unique. For you, I mean, we have a big company. We have 12 DJs that work for us. And, even bigger, kind of community of DJs. What makes you unique? What's your one thing?
I would have to say, I think it's just music knowledge. growing up and loving every kind of music and having a phone or an iPod that had everything from Tony Bennett to Marilyn Manson to Wu-Tang Clan on it.
Yeah.
And just, ability to be able to kind of play to any genre, any audience, any crowd kind of thing.
So here at Encore, we have 12 DJs who work for us. And how do you find the ways to express that? Like, I do think that's true. I think that one thing about you and when I have conversation with clients, like, why should you pick Adam? I think that the breadth of your music knowledge is the big selling point. But how do you express that to clients? Like, how do they know that's true?
Just through conversation, I think, like, getting to know the client and then finding out what they like and the ability to be able to converse about that, you know, whether it's hip hop or punk rock or oldies or whatever, like I'm able to converse about that with them. So I think that that's pretty apparent to them.
I think I would say to toot the horn for you a little bit, if I'll be your PR agent for a minute, I think that what people, you're requested a lot, obviously. I think, obviously a lot of that comes from just other people in our industry who say, oh, you got to pick Adam, he's great. And people come to the table with that, like, hey, we got to pick Adam. But I mean, even for those who've been doing this a long time, you just fall into these traps. It's just easier to mix all this dance music.
What you know.
Right. Easier just to mix all hip hop or whatever. Yep. I don't think anybody puts together like those sets like you do where it's like, it's punk and rock and
Disney.
Yeah. Or whatever.
Disney so sometimes.
We ask you a bunch of times a year to put together like these 10-minute sets to show off. What goes into building those? With someone that has as much knowledge as you do, like what goes into building those sets?
Like what you're just saying, trying to hit as many genres as I can, in 10 minutes and to make it sound cohesive. To show that you can actually mix Papa Roach to Cardi B.
Yeah.
And show that you can do that and smoothly transition between the two of them.
I just heard that. You do that. All right. So this is Adam Dibble. We're going to keep Adam for a bunch of segments on this very special episode of The Real DJ Show. I don't think I've done this next segment with you, but I'm excited to go head to head with you on this. It's a segment that we call BPM. Mickey, give me that BPM video.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bag.
All right, so this is BPM. I'm excited to have some fresh meat. Did I say meat? Was that out loud? That's MEAT meat. Some fresh meat. BPM is everyone's favorite game show of DJ debate. Mickey's going to spin the wheel of death over there. We all get, oh God, there's these, I know you can't see it on camera, but.
Dude, you got big shoes to fill.
Yeah, he does.
I'm working on scheduling right now, so
sucker.
Adam's going to kick John's ass.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see. Like, I have to remember, too, who pays the paycheck.
Oh, well, who wrote the questions. All right, so it's BPM. We both get 1 minute to debate a topic that Mickey's going to pull out of the wheel of death. And then I guess Mickey's going to tell us in post-production who was right, or maybe the peanut gallery over there who's working can jump up and yell who was right. But I'm going to let you go first because you're the guest. So Mickey, spin that wheel and give us a BPM topic.
All right, question 1. A potential client posts on Facebook wedding page that they are looking for a DJ who is willing to play without deviation from a curated playlist. They swear they're not a bridezilla. Are you responding?
Hey, I'll tell you, I'm going to give you credit before we start the 1 minute. You're very active on these Facebook pages, and I appreciate that. Like, hey, pimping the company and saying, hey, call this person. Yeah. Are you responding to that one?
That's tough, man. I mean, I think, like, I would probably, respond, but it may not be if I was scrolling through the page and there was other things to respond to first. That might not be my first choice of thing to respond to. It's tough to explain to somebody that, hey, like, if you do that, you're kind of essentially an iPod and not a DJ at that point. So,
right. All right. Well, I'm going to steal your 1 minute. Goddamn right I'm responding to this. First of all, I have 12, almost now 14 DJs to feed here at Encore Events. So you're goddamn right I'm responding. I mean, certainly at the very least, I'd like to have the opportunity to talk to them and walk them through a little bit about some education on, okay, hey, man, how that might not be the best idea. But what I also have to keep in mind is sometimes as DJs, we put it in our head, the preconceived notion that only we know how to do this, right? Yeah. And I've been corrected many times, even this past year. And Richard did one where it was very much like, here's the list. Don't mess around and stick to this list. We're worried it was going to suck, and it was great. And I think sometimes what we forget, too, is the art of what we do isn't always just picking the music. It's how the music is presented, the way we blend from one song to the other. We still get to be creative and artistic. And I guess we can't just go into those things with the preconceived notion that it's going to suck just because they're handing us the list.
took me a long time to learn that, in DJing, to not go into that with that in your head, because you see, those songs. One that comes to mind the most are probably any of those group dance songs, right? Like, I don't know many DJs that want to do Macarenas in 2022, but I've done it in the last couple of years when people ask, and it's just dope.
Yeah. And sometimes unique stuff too. There's stuff that we don't normally play, but I guess it is scary to see that freaking list, and we might not want to respond to that. But hell yeah, we got too many DJs to feed around here. All right, Nikki, I think we unfortunately both agreed on that one, that we'll still call that person. Give us the next one.
Pick one of these DJ assistants. Number 1, awesome personality, great at capturing and broadcasting social content, great with clients, very limited to zero DJ skills. Or number 2, more reserved personality, highly technical with audio gear, passable DJ skills, but no social media background.
All right, so which one of these do I want as my assistant? God, neither. I combo them. Yeah, I know. All right. So for me, I'm going to take... God, I got to think about this for a second. I'm going to take the first person, the person with personality that can record content and is good with clients. Because frankly, I'm not scared of the technical stuff. If it's me, look, I don't need somebody to fix my speakers or get stuff set up. I mean, I feel pretty confident in that. I'll admit my own shortcomings is I'm not the best social media savvy person on the planet. So if I have somebody with me who's better at that, like getting stuff on TikTok or getting stuff on Instagram, I probably need that. I mean, Rich, who's over there, probably wants me to be taking that person instead of the technical person, because those are the kind of things that I'm kind of good at. So I guess I will, for the sake of pleasing my boss, take that first person. What say you, Adam Dibble?
So I really want to argue with you, but I just don't feel like I can here, because I'm taking. I'm taking person 1. Like, honestly, I can DJ. I can set up speakers and everything, like you said, on my own. For me, like, I want somebody there that if I say, hey, can you go talk to this vendor about whatever it is, that I know that they're not going to offend a vendor, or that, they understand how important the relationships are.
I sure as shit want to teach that person, though, at least enough DJing to DJ my intros at some point. They're going to stay my assistant, I suppose. But I guess if I'm picking one to start with, it's A. Because look, it's obviously the perception of the client, the people we're working with, is probably the most important part of this before the other person. God damn it, we're agreeing way too much. All right, so those of you listening, jump in the comments. You tell us who you'd want out of A or B. All right, last one, Mick. What do you got? Number 3.
All right, here's your last question. The play only if requested list. Are you playing off of it from just one request?
I'm gonna say it depends on the song. Depends on the song. If it's something that I think, if you have 200 guests there and I think it's just going to be fire, and, to me, I look at play only if requested as it's a green light to play it. Okay. It's a green light. I mean, it shouldn't be like your first choice to play, but they clearly did not tell you when they have the option to make a do not play list to not play that. If they didn't want it played, it would have been on that list. So, if it's something I think is fire, and somebody requests it who I know has been dancing, and maybe they've been dancing with a group of people all night, yep, absolutely, you can play it.
This is awesome, Nikki. You know why? Guys, over there, it's awesome. We're fine. No, he's not right. We're finally disagreeing is why it's good. Now, look, to me, play only if requested is only subtly small increment above the do not play list, right? It's very small. I am treating that as such. So if a client took the time to have an opinion about a song and they put it on a list that says play only if requested, I have to get more than one request. This has to, for me, be one of those things where, like, it's some family tradition or something, right? So if I get 5 or 6 requests, it's probably something like, I don't know, Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. The bride really hates the fact that at every wedding in her family that she's ever been to,
or that it's 9 minutes long,
line up on one side and her aunts line up on the other, and they do the stupid thing or whatever, right? For me, it's probably like that. Or like earlier, a previous episode we recorded today, someone's like, my mom's name is Stacy. I got it. It'll be super clever if you play Stacy's mom or whatever. Right? I get it. But for me, I'm only incrementally holding this above a do not playlist. So I'm likely going to need to hear more than one request. Otherwise, I'm probably not touching it. If they took the time to put it on that list, I'm probably not touching it. What say you, YouTube world? How many requests would it take on a play only if possible before you're playing?
I think people sometimes feel like they're obligated to fill out those lists too.
That could be true.
I mean, I think that they feel like they have to have. I mean, maybe not everybody, but I think some people maybe feel like they have to have some stuff.
I'm telling you, if there's a list that says play only if requested, and they put a song there, they're not putting it there because they like it. If they're ambivalent about it, they wouldn't put it on anything. They put it on there because they don't like it. And so unless I have a very compelling argument why I'm playing that, I'm not playing it. All right. Oh, was that 3?
That's 3.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure I kicked Adam's ass on that, but Mickey's scoring it in post-production, so who the knows what it's going to be. All right. We're going to keep Adam for one more segment. He's got to go pick up his kids from school. So we're going to do setup wars. We love setup wars. We got Adam here.
Yeah.
I have a feeling will lead to more things that we disagree about, which is very exciting. Hopefully Mickey's got some setups that we...
It did last time we did it.
did not agree last time. And hopefully that's more of the same. All right, Mickey, give me the setup wars of video. All right, so this is Setup Wars. We want to appreciate all of you brave people who have sent us these pictures to be evaluated, or if we just stole them, then sorry we stole them. What's going to happen here is Mickey's going to show us a picture of a DJ setup for entertainment purposes only. Adam and I are going to evaluate them, say what we think, and give it a score from 0 to 10. Mickey will post those scores for all posterity. And here we go. Setup Wars number 1. All right, Adam, what do you think about this?
I think there's just, I mean, all right, I'll give it a positive note first. Like, it's clean. So there's not cables hanging all over the place or anything like that. So, I mean, that's a good thing about it. I think, one, I would either choose white or black. Like, I don't think I would, I mean, preferably black, but I think I would choose one or the other and be all uniform.
Yeah.
Too much going on. I don't like the lights behind the facade. Make the facade disappear, even if it's white, if you can. I think the light tree is unnecessary. But, I mean, cleanliness and everything and overall could be worse.
Okay. Look, I agree with you on an overall thing. Obviously, here's someone who's made an attempt to make their presentation good, right? I mean, they haven't stacked speakers on top of chair. I mean, they've made an effort, obviously, right? I mean, there's a lot of these things are like a personal choice thing. For me, I am not sure why DJs are addicted to putting an LED light behind anytime we have stretch fabric. It's like, why are we addicted to that? There's no reason. It's not adding anything to the room. It's just adding things like, hey, look at me. So our addiction to white stretch fabric and LED lights behind it, we got to get past 2007 when that was a thing. We got to be done with that. If you're asking me personally, I agree with you that there is probably a disconnection between, like, we have some white stretch fabric, some black. Personally, I think we should all go all black and pull the LEDs out, and that would look great. I think there really is zero reason to have this gig bar behind the DJ. I mean, you have 2 movers. If you had 2 wash lights, take 2 of those things off that gig bar and put them on something, maybe on the poles below the movers. I don't know. I think it looks a little bit like a pumpkin on a toothpick when you put a mover on a tripod like that. Or whatever analogy you want about a... What was that movie? Was that So I Married an Axe Murderer?
Yeah.
Ed! He's got a ginormous melon! Movers on a tripod's weird to me. But, I mean, hey, at least I appreciate you have movers there. You probably don't need all that light. But it's cable managed well. It's clean. We have I think it's a monitor speaker facing right at their face. So that's a little weird. But, hey, look, they put the speakers on the outside. That's good. So I'm going to give this thing 5.5. Adam, 0 to 10.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like, in like the DJ, like all the light, like what the hell is it with DJs anymore? I think they have to have absurd amount of lights.
Forever.
Like, who gives a shit? Like, just have 2 lights. Like, nobody cares. Nobody at your event cares.
You remember we went to Vegas? You went to Mobile Vegas a couple of years ago. No, you're right. Wedding MBA, and you look at people's stuff or looking to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they know the DJs are addicted to white stretch fabric and LEDs. We got to break that down.
I'll give it a 6.
Pretty generous. All right, Mickey, number 2. Well, I'm going to go first on this one. A lot of interesting things going on here. I really like it in a lot of ways. The all black thing for me is great. It looks like they have everything all black. Interestingly, it looks like they're using those kind of gooseneck aimable pin spots as dance floor lighting. That's intriguing to me. I can't see. They're just out of frame. I don't know if they're using them as pin spotting. It might not be high enough if they're using them as pin spotting, or if they're using these pin spot modules as dance floor lighting. You know what I'm talking about? Those little gooseneck.
Yeah. I can kind of see them. Yeah.
Looks like they had those on some lighting tripods behind them. I'm not a big fan of that as dance floor light. I'm not sure how well that a pin spot would work as a dance floor light because it's not a wash or something.
Yeah.
But they have them out on the outside, so it's not behind the DJ, which is great on like a gig bar or something. I think from a technology standpoint or a sound standpoint, it's a lot of bass that's really close together. We just been talking to other people about that, and look, first of all, I think the speakers are probably a little close together for the amount of just horsepower you're pushing out here, but obviously that much bass that close to you is not going to sound fantastic on the dance floor. I don't know about keeping the subs on wheels. I mean, that's interesting to me. I don't know how that would affect things. If you have them on wheels, you could very easily, if you had longer cables, get those things pushed out a little further. It would sound a heck of a lot better. But the facade itself, I think, is cool. You got the laptops there on kind of the outside and things on arms. I think it looks cool. It's pretty uniform. I like this better than I like the last one, I think, which is strange. But Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good, I think. I mean, whether it's a facade or a furniture piece, it's clean. I like it. I mean, my feelings on the furniture pieces. I love them. I mean, I like that. I like that it's clean. I'm not sure how much, like you were saying with the dance floor lights. I don't really know if those are dance floor lights or not, because that was my first question. Yeah. Like, where the hell are the dance floor lights on this thing? I mean, you can kind of see the tripod stand, and it's not like draped or anything like that. Right. So I think if that is my lighting for the dance floor, I would drape it.
I think the effect. I mean, like someone would have to, I mean, I'm not that familiar with those lights. I mean, I've seen those, and what I've seen those used for in the application, I've seen them before, is for pin spotting centerpieces. Right? You take that unit, which has like, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6 like pin spots on goosenecks, and allows you to aim them towards the centerpieces. And I've seen that they have like colored like LED versions of that. I don't think the purpose of it is a dance floor light. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. A pin spot, which is designed to be a very focused like pin spot of light, I'm not sure how well that's going to be working as dance floor lights. Interesting, but I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt.
First thing I noticed though, like the eyesore to me is the casters on the subs.
Yeah,
why would you have wheels? That is where my eyes went first. Like his wheels on the subs. Like if you're gonna do that, I mean, I guess for transportation, like it's easier, but I think I'd figure out how to cover that up. Like,
Mickey, is that inherent in whatever subs those are, that they just have like casters and you just lock them up? I mean,
everything else looks so. I mean, everything else looks clean except for that. Like that looks very utilitarian.
On a dolly or something?
Is it a cart?
So they left them on a cart.
I think
like
I would take that off the cart then. Like, I don't think that's a good choice right there. It's like,
I'm not sure that would sound. I think that would sound if they're sitting up on casters like that. And look, I'm not going to be self-professed the smartest sound guy on the planet, but it sounds like that would rattle the shit out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that whole cart would rattle.
I mean, I'm just looking at it more as like a look thing. Like you look at this clean setup, and then there's like
looks kind of
casters that looking like you're in a construction zone.
Interesting. All right, but all that talking we just did about it, and I like it a lot versus the last one. For me, I think this one way better. It's 6.5 for me.
Yeah, I give it a 6 or a 7.
Oh my God!
What in the holy hell are we looking at?
I don't know. I can't tell if I like it. I like some of it. Wow, there's a lot going on.
Lord.
But you know what's funny is that there's a lot going on, but that room has a lot going on. So interesting. Those embossed panels, is that like something they've built to just kind of shield the front of tripods and things?
It looks like a fabric. Or is that like a facade to cover up a trussing? Right. Is that what that is?
So this is very unique, and I think I like it. First of all, some positive things.
We could disagree on this one.
No, yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, I think I like it, especially in this room. I mean, this room looks very ornate, right? Like the ceiling, there's a lot going on. That chandelier is freaking really elaborate. So it's a very stylized room. I mean, look, you can see all the millwork on the wall behind you. So it's a really stylized room. I mean, so I think that this fits it pretty well. I mean, if you're going to put, I mean, we just got through trashing someone who put LEDs on white things, your DJ setup. But if it's white and it kind of matches the ceiling, I kind of like it. And I'm breaking all my own rules here. I do think it is.
I never thought I hear you talk about white.
I don't think we need those, the TV panels. I mean, unless the client really wanted to show something, I think a lot of DJs just put them to use them. Like my setup should have TVs in it. But what I really like is that they've built, I think must have been custom, these modular panel, these like embossed panels to cover up all their stuff, I think is really cool. And I normally don't like, I mean, I think I would like it better if it was like, like a tin ceiling, right? Where it's just
that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
It kind of looks like those. I probably would have one that maybe is less elaborate, but there's something about it in this room that I think really works. It's really interesting. I mean, but it looks so uniform that they've covered up both the speaker tripods and whatever those movers are sitting on. I mean, because look, if those movers were sitting on, it's probably a tripod with a bar on the top. So the tripods are clamped to a bar. But when you do it this way, it looks cool versus if that was just a tripod sitting there. So I think this DJ is smart. It's possible, whatever it is, they've covered it with this the uniform, these panels, which I think looks dope. I mean, and I normally hate like the more stylized things. But I think this DJ's got something here which is really cool. And it's uniform, and I usually hate all white stuff. Now, look, I tell you what, if this was all black, I'd be like all about it because but it does. I mean, it fits this room really well. Well, I'm really mad at myself how much I like it. I'm sorry, I've dominated because I'm perplexed of why I like
see this,
but I really like
this.
it.
I mean, I think like when you talk about the room. The panels are unique. I guess I'm not really sure if I love them or not. I think it's something like that's so very venue specific. So hopefully in his case, or whoever's this DJ is, hopefully in their case, those are removable from the trussing. So they can, if they needed to put a sock over those trussings somewhere else, they can do that. Because I think that those, they just look very, very venue specific to me. Like they're not going to look good in every place you go.
That's true. It's not, but it's something about the room that it's in. It works. I would say. I
think I would, if I was going to spend this kind of money, though, which I'm assuming is a significant amount. He's got TVs there, trussing there, those panels, the custom panels, right? I think I would do a furniture piece and not a white facade.
Yeah, but I think it all works.
That, yeah,
especially if you said, okay, and I think why I like it so much is that this person has done something very cool, and I bet you it's DIY. You know what I mean? Like, So instead of buying a big furniture piece, they've got that facade board, which I don't normally like to white, but it works here with.
There's a lot of care that's gone into this.
Exactly.
Right? Like, there's a lot of care that's gone into this. This is not somebody just buying some cheap stuff to cover up things or whatever. There's definitely a lot of care, and there's a lot of like creativity that's gone into that. So.
I want to meet this person. I would. The one critical thing I would say is, look, you have like all these, whatever those are, they're covered up tripods or covered up trussing, whatever they are. I would move in the order of things. I'd put the speakers on the outside probably because it would make it sound way better than DJ headphones. You have speakers.
Yeah, I think like you're saying, unless a client like really requested TV screens, they're just unnecessary.
Yeah, it's unnecessary, but
it's flashy.
But if you have those for a reason, then what I would do in the order of things, I would put the speakers on the outside and maybe the TVs closest to me because that don't matter. Anyway, I don't know, but. God, I am lost of how to score this because it's not normally what I like, but in this case, I think it just really works. It's like an 8 for me.
I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7.
No, they've even covered it to match the rest of their stuff. I think it's really cool. No, and that doesn't bug me, Mick, because it's not like a T-bar where it's just dominating the wall behind you. It's very subtle. They've smartly covered up the pole with the 80s hair scrunchy sock thing. I don't know. I don't know why I like it. Because you're right, Mick. Because Mickey, I think what you're trying to say here is, hey, John, there's a bunch of stuff here that normally you talk about.
White, and it's all white.
You talk shit about it most of it, but I don't know what it is. But in this case, it does all work. And I'd love to know who this was.
I feel like we just did a segment where you said, I don't understand what it is with DJs in white.
Right. No, what I said was I don't understand what it is about. It's stretch. It's white stretch fabric and LEDs behind it. Yeah. In this case, it's an embossed panel.
Yeah,
and they
no
put
doubt.
the light in front
unique.
of it to show off like some of the texture of the thing. I mean, I don't know why. Like I said, I'm going to admit it breaks a lot of rules I normally have, and we're talking this in circles, but I love it, and it's an 8 for me. All right, was that?
Oh Lord!
All right, this is not perplexing.
This is not a hard one here. I don't think.
All right, you want to go first? And
oh my God, do I have to? I will.
Yes.
Sure, I will.
Is this their living room?
I don't know. I can't really tell venue space. It looks like it's somebody's living room. Maybe it's a Sweet 16 party at somebody's house. Like, I don't know. That first of all, that freaking trussing, like holy shit. I haven't
the
seen
two-dimensional fake truss.
I don't think I've seen trussing like that since like I don't know 1998, 2001.
Right.
Like I think I would completely dump that trussing for one. Like that's not good looking. And what the hell's going on with that laptop?
It's really tall, and the table's really short.
And that microphone stand. Like I just am so I don't. Yeah, like there's no controller.
Yeah, there's just a little mixer there.
You know, which is clearly he's running a program that he's just running out of a mixer and not actually mixing.
Well, look, hey,
or mixing like on a laptop, I guess.
This is somebody's house party, right?
Yeah.
If you were to go back and look back in time at what I had set up in 1996,
I'm embarrassed
on my frat house table.
Yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed by what I did.
Dude, like, what I did in 1996, I grabbed the drafting table that my architect roommate had, and I bring that out, and I put our fraternity banner on it, and I had 2 like stereo speakers that I built myself from parts from Radio Shack. And I had like a CD Walkman that you would use in your car, and I had a shelf system, and my Radio Shack mixer mixing back and forth. This person is way more advanced than that.
That's what I was doing.
But yeah, I mean, look, I would if someone came to me and it's like, hey, I want to get started in DJing, I would say you have no need for that 2-dimensional fake truss. Throw that never order that. That in a gig bar, the worst purchases you can ever make. Yeah, buy a couple wash lights and tie them onto your
You could take 2 of those lights and put them on speakers.
Yeah, just put them on the
clamp them on the
something.
speakers and ditch that whole thing.
Yeah, you ditch that whole thing. I think those are some kind of Guitar Center off-branded Behringer or something speakers. It might not be terrible. Who knows? But here's the thing: is that I talked about in a previous episode. You don't have to spend money to have a good setup, right? You can take the same gear, get rid of that truss thing, drape the bottom of your teepees there, and do a little more wire management, and you could be fine. Maybe get a little, instead of the money that you spent on that truss, get a little front board for the folding table or a controller so you can actually DJ or something. Invest the same amount of money in a different way. You don't need that truss. Anyway, so obviously it's someone getting started, not gonna kick their ass too bad. Right. Of course it's atrocious. They're just getting started, but we all DJ on atrocious.
That microphone reminds me. Remember when DJs used to have like the microphone thing hooked up that like you could move and it turned and they could bring the microphone?
A lot of guys still do that.
I think
there are a lot of our contemporaries that still mount a hardwired mic in their booth, so when they're there, they're not worried that their handheld mic, his batteries are dead or something. Yeah. Sometimes those actually sound really good. Yeah, you get a really nice one of those. Yeah. So while you're in your booth, you're doing your like, hey, put your hands up kind of thing. It's right there. So I'm not gonna hate on all that, but obviously someone just getting started. I think this is probably their living room.
Sure.
It's frat house or their kids having a birthday party.
I mean, for me, I think I'd just get rid of that trussing. Like, that's a big thing. Like, the rest of it, the cables, there's not a lot of cables hanging all over the place. I mean, I see some, like, on that trussing in the back.
He's got a surge protector all tied up into the bottom of that truss. If you'd covered that, Anyway. Yeah. You don't spend money to look good. In this case, you could have spent less money even and maybe made it look better. But, hey, man, when I first DJ'd on, sucked balls too. But this is a 3.5. They tried.
Yeah,
like it's Bart Simpson with a cake.
Yeah, I give it a 4. I'll be generous. I give it a 4.
All right. Well, that was Setup Wars, and that was the Real DJ Show, the very special episode with our friend Adam. Adam, thank you for coming. Appreciate you.
Of course.
See you guys around. That was the Real DJ Show. See ya. Peace. All right, that's it for us. Another episode of the Real DJ Show is in the books. We want you along every time, so make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the little bell so you get notifications of all of our new content. We know you're DJs and have a lot to say, so jump in the comment section to join the debate. If you have content suggestions or you want your DJ company featured on The One Thing, email us at therealdjshow@rochesterdj.com. Lastly, if you're sick enough that you want to take the audio of this with you wherever you go, you can find the audio everywhere quality podcasts are found. All right, that's it for us. Show's over, bitches.